Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Monday. Please take a few moments just to find your comfortable seat. Place something underneath your sit bones that allows your spine to lift. A place where your ankles and your knees aren't going to go to sleep in 10 minutes. So find a place of comfort and settle in. Now sit up tall in the spine and close down the eyes. Place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart center. Together we're going to take 3 deep, full breaths. We'll inhale through the nose and exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale deeply, full breath. Audible sigh out. One more time, breathe in. Let it all out. Now you can either leave your hands resting on your belly and your heart center, or rest them face down onto the thighs. Allow the breath to fall into its natural rhythm. Feel the rise and fall of the belly as you inhale and exhale. Allow your lips to seal and the breath to enter and exhale through the nose. As you feel the rise and fall of the belly, as you attune to your breath's natural rhythm. It's like a tide that washes in and washes away from the shore. And keep the eyes closed for the whole time if you can. We often find it far easier to be kind to others than we do to be kind to ourselves. We find it easier to make time for others than it is to make time for ourselves. And far easier to observe outwardly rather than looking truly and deeply within ourselves. So please take a moment to thank yourself for finding time, for finding space to sit and be with yourself. And take a moment to ask yourself how you are. How are you? It's a phrase we use so often to others, but how often do we ask this to ourselves? And even if we do, how often do we actually listen to the response? And if we sit with ourselves and we listen to that response, how often do we receive this response honestly, openly, without having any judgment? To this requires pure acceptance. It requires unconditional self-love. Our inner critic forms in the earliest stages of life, and we become programmed to critique. to judge and negate ourselves. So the journey to achieving unconditional love, conditional self-love, is not a short one, nor an easy one. It requires courage, patience, and conscious practice, almost to reverse what has become a second nature to us. Today I ask you to take a step closer towards self-love, pure, unconditional love for yourself. This does not make you a selfish person. This does not mean that you feel superior or better or greater than anyone else. But it does mean that you have an awareness of your whole self and that you embrace every single element of your own being. And that means the positive and the negative. Because without negative, there is no positive. So we're going to do a few checks today, check in with ourselves as honestly and openly as we can. So first, let's check in with our physical body. If your physical body had a voice, what would it tell you? If you were sat with your physical body having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and a biscuit, just having a chat, how would your physical body tell you it feels? Notice the posture, the physical sensations, maybe some tension or any pain. And notice your body's energy levels. Ask your body what it needs and what it wants. Receive its response without judgment. Breathe and listen. Secondly, check in with your emotional body. Maybe this time you're sat with your emotional body having a glass of wine or a beer. And what does this emotional body tell you? How does it feel? Is it sad? Is it happy? Is it angry? Is it anxious? Or maybe content? Ask your emotional body what it needs and what it wants. And with no judgment, receive openly this response. Breathe and listen. Thirdly, check in with your mind, your intellectual mind. Imagine your mind and your intellect as a physical being. Maybe you've gone for a run or a cycle together, or a walk in the park. What does your mind tell you? Ask it what it's thinking right now. What does it need? What does it want? How does it feel? And with no judgment, receive its response. Breathe and listen. And finally, we check in with our breath. Without trying to change or adapt anything, just notice, observe if the breath is shallow or deep, long or short. Where in the body the breath resides. Is it in the chest, the ribs, the belly? And ask your breath, the energy of your body, what it needs and what it wants. And with no judgment, receive this response. Breathe and listen. I'm going to read a short extract by an amazing guy called Scott Stabile, which will be followed by a few moments of stillness. Just show up as you are. You don't have to look or feel great. You don't have to be prepared for each challenge or know all the hows of every situation. You do not have to be fearless or have all the answers or be 100% ready. Nobody is any of these things. Nobody ever was. It's not about being perfect at all. You just have to show up as you are, despite all the objections and insecurities of your mind, despite each and every fear that threatens to hold you back, despite the limitations and criticisms others may place on you. The hell with it all. This is your life, your journey, your adventure. And all it is asking of you is to show up for it as you are. That's enough. That's more than enough. That is everything. Keeping the eyes closed, draw the hands to touch in front of the heart center. Thank yourself for coming to the mat today and for allowing you time and space to reflect and internalize. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Embrace your true essence in all of its wholeness. We draw our thumbs in between our third eye, our place, our center of intuition. You are radiant, just as you are. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you a wonderful rest of your Monday, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.